Have you ever felt like you were nothing? Have you ever felt like you were overlooked? Have you ever felt like you were simply stepped on? Have you ever felt like you was taken advantage of? At the end of the day, have you ever felt like you simply were forgotten? Understand, the Bible says that when it comes to you, the elect, you're just like a worm. That even in your lowest state, even at your worst time, even when you feel like you're forgotten, even when it feels like you're nothing, when you feel like you're a worm, the Most High wants you to know that you're still chosen, still protected, and you going to rise again. Let me say all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Bahashem Ruach HaKadosh. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS who have taught us this true peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. We're talking today about from worm to warrior, the message to the elect, from worm to warrior, the message to the elect. And for those of you that's tuning in, I want you to know that we're going to be coming from Isaiah chapter 41. Okay? And we're going to do a line upon line, precept upon precept, a little here and a little there. From worm to warrior. The message to the elect. Again, sometimes we feel simply as nothing, especially those of us that's of the household of Jacob, Israel, being swallowed up of nations, particularly most hatefully by our enemies, the Edomites, who's controlling the known world at this time. And sometimes it seems as if no matter how much work, close that door, no matter how much work you put in, sometimes it seems as if no matter how much education you get, sometimes it seems as if no matter how many letters you get before or after your name as it relates to education or certifications and what have you, yet it still feels like you're nothing. Yet it still feels like you've been overlooked. Yet it still feels like you're being stepped over and that people is not really taking you serious. And so when we look at this scripture, I want you to see that no matter how bad you feel, no matter how low you feel. Pay attention to me. No matter how horrible you feel, no matter how low, no matter how destitute, no matter how horrendous, horrific, or horrible the circumstances is, the Most High wants you to know that amid all of those things, you're still chosen, you're still protected, and you still should rise. And that all in itself ought to make everybody that's underneath the sound of my voice say, all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Bahashem, Ruach HaKadash. Now, we see from the title, From Worm to Warrior, the message to the elect. Let's go to Isaiah 41 and go line upon line, precept upon precept. You see it on the left side. And I want you to hear the implications that come from the Most High. I want y'all to really pay attention to what's being said and what's being articulated and what's being communicated. I really want y'all to hear the indictment that the Most High Yahweh is bringing against our enemies. And I really want you to hear and understand that those people who think that they have some type of power, and as Psalms 124 point out, trying to swallow us up within their power structure in their wicked system that constantly try to promote elitism. I really want you to hear how the Most High, amid all of these travesties that we are encountering and experiencing, I want you to see how the Most High take us serious. Do you hear me? I want you to see how much the Most High love us, how much he care for us, and how much the Most High is sensitive over us. I tell y'all time and time again, right? Sometimes you really don't understand how much the Most High love you until you have your own kids. See, a lot of people really don't understand the Most High love until they have their own children. And when you have your own children and you're a good father or you're a good mother, there's nothing you won't do for your child. You'll go to the ends of the earth for your child. And if time called upon you to do so, you will even lay down your life for your child if you're a real good father or a good mother. So sometimes we really don't understand how much the Most High loves us, how much the Most High adores us, how much the Most High is jealous over us until you have some children. So in verse 1, as our Heavenly Father, as the Most High Yahweh, he called the nations into a judicial system or court system, I should say. And those of you, you know about Judge Joe Brown. You know about Judge Pittman. You may even know about Judge Mathis. But there's a higher judge than all the judges here on earth. And when you look at verse 1, he bring our enemies into his judicial court. And he said, keep silence before me, O islands. Islands speaks to the nations outside of Hebrew Israelites. He's calling these nations unto his court. And when you come before the court of the Most High, you can't help but keep silence. He's too pure. He's too holy. He's too marvelous. He's too miraculous. He's too magnificent. And on top of that, as it relates to us, he's too merciful. It's a fearful thing, Hebrews says, to stand in the sight of the Most High Yahweh. Well, now, prophet unto the nation, why it's a fearful thing? It's a fearful thing because he got the power to kill and make alive. He got the power to put one up and bring one down. He got the power. And my daughter and I were talking the other day about all these foods that full of cancer. I want you to hear me. Yahweh got the power. And you have people right now who have gone vegan. Are you hearing me? And yet their body is full of cancer, even though they've been vegan for a long time. Why? Because Yahweh has the power to put cancer in one's body and then turn around and heal their body. Keep silence. Y'all on the screen. Before me, oh islands. Then he goes on and said, let the people renew their strength. You see that? Let them come near. Then let them speak. Let us come near together to judgment. Now, the people renewing their strength is you so-called African Americans, you so-called Latinos, you so-called Native Americans. Now, how is that in relation to renewing your strength? It's in relation to you renewing your strength because you are waking up to who you are. You're waking up to your true identity. And I don't know about y'all, but when I was awakened to this reality, awakened to this spiritual and natural identity of being a descendant of the house of Judah or the house of Yahweh, it renewed my strength. It renewed my mindset. It renewed my perspective of life. And it renewed my ambitions. When I realized I was a descendant of the house of Israel, it changed the whole dynamics of my life. And it put me in a place to realize who are my real enemies and who is the devil in the flesh. And with that mindset, you are able to properly go to warfare. See, a lot of times you think it's your family. A lot of times you think it's your husband or wife. A lot of times you think it's your cousin, brother, sister. No. You're fighting against the infiltrating of their minds by this power structure. Who is the rulership as it relates to the Edomites? And so when you wake up to who you are, JoJo, when you wake up to your true identity, when you wake up and realize you descend from royalty, people can't keep you down. People can't minimize you. And you stop caring, you stop giving a damn about what people say or do to you because you realize your times, that's Psalm 31 verse 15, you realize you are in the hands of the Most High. And if I'm in the hands of the Most High, the scripture in John chapter 10 say, even the devil himself can't even pluck me out. Are y'all praying with me? So it goes on to say, let the people renew their strength. Renew your strength by realizing you are the special jewels. And let me grab that. Okay. I can get in the mode and just go to quoting scriptures, but let me take you there. Let's go to Malachi chapter 3. I'm on the right side. I want y'all to see something. And please let this sit in your mind. All right? Let this sit in your mind. Listen to Malachi chapter 3, verse 16. Then they that fear Yahweh spoke often one to another, and Yahweh hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that fear Yahweh and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith Yahweh hosts. And that day when I make up my, you see that? Jewels. You are a special jewel in the sight of the Most High. Do you hear me? This is why the scriptures, and there's so many, you have to understand, I often say this, when it comes to scriptures, interpretation and even prophecy is multi-layered. Now, when you hop over here, now keep in mind, young man, keep in mind, young woman, you're a special what? Jewel. Do y'all hear me? You're a special, and let's put it in today's vernacular, you are a special 24 karat gold necklace or a pearl necklace. So keep that in mind. Now, let's hop over here to Matthew chapter, You see this, verse 6, Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. Give not that which is holy unto dogs. See, you have to understand you are a special jewel in the sight of the Most High. Even though you feel down, even though you feel like a castaway, even though it feels like people is walking all over you, people overlook you, you still have to realize you're special. You're still chosen in the sight of the Most High. And because you're special, you can't be giving yourself unto dogs. And it goes on to say, neither cast ye your pearls before swine. I look at so many odd people run them so crazy trying to please these other nationalities. So many odd people run themselves crazy trying to make the Edomite, so-called white man, feel good about himself. So many of our people running themselves out of their wits end, trying to be accepted. We was watching the show, and I'm watching the show because there's a lot of things I'm going to talk about, a lot of things. And it was this particular Hebrew Israelites, other words, woman Israelite. And she on this show, bojangling, trying to look a certain way, trying to perceive herself a certain way, trying to use her words, trying to articulate herself a certain way in order to be accepted by Edomites. So many people done lost, and I want you to hear this. Let's fix this thing up. I want you to hear this. Let's look at verse 6 again. Give not that which is holy unto dogs. It's a crying shame that here it is, you a child of the Most High. You are a descendant of royalty, and yet you're trying to please dogs. Do you hear me? Here it is, you are the best, the top of the top. Here it is, you are a rarity, and yet you trying to please dogs. Here it is, you are the one that the world ought to be following and pattern themselves after, but yet you allow your mind to be infiltrated and desecrated by the philosophies of this wicked society, this wicked system that we're living in. And now you're trying to please everybody else. but the Most High. Let's hop back over here. It says in verse 2, who raised up, y'all hear that? The righteous man from the east, calling him to his foot, gave the nations before him, and made him rule over kings. He gave them as the dust to his sword, and as driven stubble to his bow. Now, multi-layer interpretation. Let's deal with this. Historically, this is speaking about Cyrus, who was raised to bring down who? Babylon, who had the people of the Most High in captivity. The other prophecy this concern, when they talk about raise up the righteous man from the east, not only Cyrus and Isaiah in them days, but it also was speaking ultimately to the ultimate righteous man, and that is no one but Yahweh Shah, whom the world commonly and ignorantly referred to as Jesus. That's who it's talking about. He is the one from the east. And if he's from the east, how can he look like Caesarea, bro? Coming out of the middle of the east. He was raised up and was called to his foot. Now the end time prophecy concerning this is concerning you, young man, and you, young woman, because right now we are in Babylon. And when Yahweh shall come back, he's going to give you and I spiritual power. And we're going to reign over the nations. Matter of fact, you don't believe me? In the mouth of 2, 3 witnesses, let everywhere be established. Let's go to Revelation chapter 3. Chapter 2, rather. Let's see. Because he talk about how, you see this? Verse 26. And he that overcome and keep my works unto the end, to him would I give power over the nations. You see that? Gave the nations before him and made him rule over kings. Give power over the nations, and he should rule them with a rod of iron. And as the vessels of a potter should they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. So Yahweh Shah said, just like I'm ruling, I'm going to allow you to rule with me. Verse 3, I told you we're going to do line upon line. He pursued them and passed safely. He pursued them and passed safely, even by the way that he had not gone with his feet. Who have wrought and done it? Called in the generations from the beginning. I, Yahweh, the first, and with the last, I am he. So Yahweh letting you know, I'm giving you power. Even though you're broken, you're not destroyed. Therefore, I'm putting you back together. I'm giving you power. Even though you feel all alone, you're not alone. I'm right there with you. I'm giving you power. Even though you feel so small, I'm giving you power. And I'm calling you a holy generation, a royal priesthood, called out of darkness into my marvelous light. I am the first. You see it right here on the left side. And I am the last. I am he. I am the one that could do whatever you need me to do. And he letting you know that he prophesied this even before it even came into fruition. He goes on to say, verse 5, the isles saw it and feared. The ends of the earth were afraid, drew near and came. Watch this. We about to deal with modern times right now. I want y'all to pay attention to. He said the owls saw it, the nations, okay, and feared. They began to be afraid. Now, what is they afraid of? They afraid of the judgment that's coming. You see all these people rallying against Donald Trump. They are afraid right now. You see all these people who is talking about we need to do this and that. You see all these nations that's coming with all these policies. You see the EU, you see NATO, you see how all of these people is coming together trying to strengthen their alliance. You see it? Because it goes on to say they drew near and came. They helped everyone, his neighbor. And everyone said to his brother, be a good courage. So when it comes to this system that's put in place, the NATO, the BRIC nations, the military alliances, the economic coalitions that you see merging in this day and time, that they are coming together because they are afraid of what's coming. Do you hear me? They are trying to prepare for war against the Most High. And I tell y'all time and time again, this is why you see all these movies that's trying to get in your mind that when you see aliens fight against it, because they are afraid of what's coming. They know something is a brewing. And it goes on to say, verse 7, so the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smooth with the hammer, him that smote the anvil, saying it is ready for soldering, and he fastened it with nails that it should not be moved. So you see all of these people building their idol system. You see all these people that's trying to merge Christianity, trying to merge Islam. You see all these people that's trying to merge underneath Roman Catholicism. You see how they use a technology to try to bring everybody underneath one government, underneath one system, underneath one economic situation. You see how they're using idols, money, AI. They even using people's status because they're afraid. And all of this, go look it up. Y'all don't got to believe me. Go look it up. All of this, they spending all of this money on technology. They're spending all this money on oneness to keep the Hebrew Israelite down. They know prophecy. Don't you know these people know the Bible better than some of y'all know the Bible? Huh? Did you know that? And they don't go into the Bible because they don't believe it, but they don't go into the Bible to get closer to the Most High. They go into the Bible to see how they can further weaken you. It ain't no coincidence where you got all these food where they are putting pork and all of these crustaceans in the food. Here it is, you go to the store and get a snack and you're like, this is supposed to be an apple pie, but somehow, some way they got lard in it because they go into the book to find out what weaken you so they can further destroy you. How in the world? I want y'all to hear me. How in the world this supposed to be a honey bun, but yet it got oyster juice in it? What is we doing? Because they go into the book to see what gets you in trouble, what weaken you, what destroy you, so they may use it against you. Why our women? And this is where people get so messed up at. Talk about white women do it. These type of women, no. I want you to hear me out. Listen, we not worrying about, we talking about our women. Why they got our women so infatuated with OnlyFans? Because they know that our book says, whoredom brings down people. You go, watch this. I was talking to my daughter about this yesterday. Let's go over here. All right, we're gonna come back to the message, but the most I got something else on my mind. Because there's a problem that's going. I want you to look at this. Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the heathens, whither I drive them. Now, prophet unto nation, you talked about the women. We know that whoredom has been pushed on our women. We know infiltration of the mind when it comes to being Datianas, when it comes to being whores, when it comes to being so forth and so forth. I know it's supposed to say so on and so forth, but I'm saying so forth and so forth. Listen, we understand that, but what about the men? You see this scripture again? It said they should even eat their bread defiled in the land of captivity. You see generation of daughters coming up, whores. But there's something even more wicked at work. There's something that's even, I'm going to use the word that y'all like to use, diabolical at work. There's something that's even more heinous or hideous at work. And that is, they have taken the food. They have manipulated the food. They have desecrated the food. Hear me out, son. They have taken the food and filled it with so much devilish hormonal injections and what have you, to the point that even though you got the women growing up, and it's bad, y'all. Hear me out. This is bad. But at least they growing up to be whores dealing with the right people, men. But it got the men eating this defiled food to the point that you look out among our young boys, they growing up so feminine, putting on high heel shoes, not even 7 years old, putting on lipstick, want to wear mama makeup. That's something going on. What's wrong with Zion? They coming together. And this fire is being escalated. Their agenda is further being escalated. They trying to destroy you because they fear what's coming. Those of us that's in the truth, we know our deliverance coming. That's why Yahweh said, in that day and time, look up, your redemption draw nigh. But even though our redemption is drawing nigh, you're seeing more whoredom, more than ever before. You see more of our young boys. I was in the store the other day, and I looked around at the local Franny grocery store, as y'all like to say, in K. Rogers or Kroger's, whatever you want to call it. And I said, this good. You see young African Americans, young boys working. But I saw something more even sinister. The boys, they was working, but you couldn't tell a difference between them and the young ladies. I'm trying to tell you, they're out to destroy you because they fear what's coming. Let us use our media. Let us use our religions that we gave them. Let us use propaganda. Let us use AI. Let us use technology. Let us all come together. As I just pointed to you in verse 5-7, let us all come together and destroy as many as we possibly can. Let's make as many of their women whores, and let's make many of their boys battermen. You know what a batterman is in the words of Jamaicans? Huh? Let's make them switch hitters. Or in the words of Corey Holcomb, backdoorians. They are turning up the fire. They are turning up their persecution. They are turning, and you see so many programs, you see so many reality shows that's trying more and more to convince you to move away from what's norm and to accept the abnormal because they know that judgment is right around the corner. They want to get as many you possibly can further, further, further away from the Most High. But I told you the message earlier is from worm to warrior. Now watch this. Even though they doing all of this, they coming together. They making their system more powerful. They are making their government more powerful. They got the military forces. They got EU. They got NATO. They got all of these things working for them. But listen what verse 8 said. But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. I told you, you may be down. I told you, you may even pray sometime. When is my breakthrough coming? I feel like a worm. Huh? And watch this. We're going to get to it. Matter of fact, let me read on so we get down to the worm, because I'm going to break this worm thing down for y'all. You're still chosen. It says right here, verse 8, but thou, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen. No matter how bad I feel, I'm still chosen. I mean, if you really think about that you are chosen, it'll make you do better in life. It will make you say, nothing can stop me. I'm chosen. Everything I'm gonna do gonna prosper. Everything my hands touch gonna be gold. See, the problem is you don't know you chosen. And because you don't know you chosen, you are lazy. You are slothful. Because you don't know you chosen, you too busy looking for a damn handout. Stop looking to people that don't like you to do for you what Yahweh has already placed in you to empower you to do for yourself. I think I ought to say that again. Stop looking to people don't like you to do for you what Yahweh has already empowered you to be able to do for yourself. Because he said, listen, man, hear me. You're chosen. You're chosen. You may be weak. You're still chosen. You ought to tell yourself, I'm chosen. Every time you wake up in the morning, you ought to look in the mirror. I'm a chosen one. No matter what they do to me on the job, no matter, listen, I'm chosen. Make that thing personal. Oh, my wife left me and cheated on me. It's okay, young man. Wipe the tears from your eyes and realize you're still chosen. People walk off on you. People want to treat you any kind of way. Just look at them and say, hey, you don't realize who I am. I'm chosen by the Most High. I'm a favorite. No matter what, I'm still chosen. Somebody just lost their job. It's okay, man. I know it's rough. You're still chosen. Yahweh hand is still upon you. I don't know how I make ends meet. You got so many people whining and complaining about not being able to pay their rent, pay their mortgage. It's okay. You're still chosen. The Most High have not forgotten about you. I may not have mama. See, my mama dead and gone, but some of you alive. All right? And your mama is alive. I know this might sound harsh. I got to tell the truth. Some of you alive underneath the sound of my voice. And unfortunately, your mama or your daddy may be alive. And yet how they act, it's almost best for them to be where my mama is. And that is in the spirit world. But even though my mama dead, and even though your mama and daddy alive, but it's as if they're dead, don't you ever forget that you are chosen. You chosen no matter if they do or don't do. That's why the old folks used to say, he's a father to the fatherless. He's a mother to the motherless. I tell you, you're still chosen. And every now and then, we get up in our head. It happened to the prophet of the nations too. You sit up and you be like, man, I give. I give my heart away. I give my resources away. Yet when it's time to reciprocate, the same people nowhere to be found. But that's all right. Yahweh said, listen, I seen what they do. I see what they doing. But hear me, you're still chosen. You may feel like a worm. You're still chosen, man. You may feel down and out, you're still chosen. Listen, verse 9, thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, thou art my servant. Watch this again. I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Now Yahweh is saying, listen, other people turn their back on you. I came up and had some people I was cool with. I can't find them. They walked away from me. You too have some people to walk away from you. You have some, two F's. I know they probably ain't no proper English. What is the two F's? Family and friends to cast you away. But thank the Most High for the big F. And you can say whichever one you want to say, Father or faithful. He still chose you. You see that? He said right here, look at the screen, look at the pointer. I have chosen thee and not cast thee away. You have some people who will cast you away, my love. You have some people that will cast you to the enemies, beloved. You have some people who will try to cut you off at the knees so you can't rise no more. But Yahweh said, hear me, I have chosen you. Point to yourself. You ought to say, he chose me. I don't care what the hell I'm dealing with. I'm chosen. It goes on to say, fear thou not, for I'm with thee. Man, this is bringing tears to your eyes. So here it is. I'm chosen. And because I'm chosen, why the hell I'm afraid? Or whatever. Oh man, prophet unto the nation, you don't understand me. They diagnosed me with this. It's okay. You still chosen. Fear not. Yahweh said, I'm with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee. All of my help comes from who? Yahweh. He goes on to say, yeah, I will help thee. Yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my right. When you study scripture, you understand that the right hand means power, means covenant. Back in the day when they entered into covenant with one another, they did what? They shook each other with the right hand. So Yahweh said, I will uphold you not only with my power, but I will uphold you because I made a covenant with you. I am the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he tells us, I'm going to do it for who? My servant David's sake. He's in covenant with us, y'all. He is covenant with us. He said, I have chose thee. I'm not going to cast thee away. Now, let me deal with this right here. You know, you got so much replacement theology out here. And we dealing with the spiritual side right now. They think that Christianity, all these different religions think that the world replaces us. Y'all hear me? The church replaces Israel. You'll never find it in the scripture. And unfortunately, watch this. Unfortunately, this mindset has even come down to our individual lives. You hear me? Because a lot of us think we are replaceable. Are y'all hearing me? Well, somebody said, I know I'm not replaceable, but you only got that mindset when it comes to your relationship. But what about everything else? I know you have this mindset because you will go to a job where you don't even supposed to be at and will work yourself to death because you tell yourself, I got to do all this. I got to, yes, sir, and I got to jump through all this hoops because I don't want them to replace. Listen, you're not replaceable. That's why the scripture tells us to walk by faith and not by what? Come on now, y'all walking with me. You're not replaceable. You have to take this mind beyond the relationship. Oh, you leave me or I couldn't. No. In life in general, when it comes to your purpose, when it comes to your talent, when it comes to your skill, when it comes to your occupation, when it comes to your career, you're not replaceable because you're chosen, man. Well, what if they get rid of me? If they get rid of me, I'm not replaceable. The Most High just let me know I'm not chosen to be there no more. There's something else better. He said, I have called my servant out of Egypt. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. I think it's Hosea chapter 11. You see that? Verse 1, when Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. Out of Egypt. Well, make this a little plain and simple. I know they talk about when he brought our forefathers out of Egypt by Moses. But don't you know Egypt means bondage? Huh? Don't you know Egypt means bondage? And a lot of us, and I make it mine, oh man, I make sure I never get, a lot of us is in bondage by our own volition. Okay? And I know I keep bringing it to a job because maybe somebody going to be listening to this and they dealing with something on their job. Listen, you are in Egypt right now on your job. In captivity. And the Most High said, listen, why you allow yourself to be held captive on that job when I have called you to come out? We enslave ourselves. Stand somewhere too damn long. When the Most High said, listen, I have the promised land on the other side. Only if you don't be afraid and realize I've chosen thee, and because I've chosen thee, I'm with thee. The prophet unto the nation said, listen, don't care about that pink slip, but I'm making 6 figures. Who give a damn? Their job is going to kill you 10 years before your time. Oh man, somebody just said, oh, you didn't hear that. You worrying about a damn 6 figures and that job gonna kill you 10 to 15 years before your time because you are enslaved on that job. You can't do nothing else. You can't worry about your purpose. You can't build. You can't even do what the Most High, because you are enslaved on that job because you're too busy worrying about what the world think. Huh? About what the world deemed to be status. And this is the problem with a lot of us. We have allowed social media and what people portray to be manufactured for the life for us to follow. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. Can I boast a little bit? I won't even have a master's degree right now. If I would have listened to other people. Back in my hometown, I was working at a good job. But Yahweh said, come on out. Now, if I would allow myself to be enslaved to that job, I would have never went back to school to get an education. I would never develop myself in what have you. People were saying I was stupid. People were saying I made a bad decision. But I can't allow myself to be enslaved to no man or no system, because I know the Most High have chosen me. Listen, what it goes on to say, behold, all they that were incensed against thee should be ashamed and confounded. This is a word for somebody. Listen, y'all really pay attention to this. This is somebody deliverance right now. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee should be ashamed and confounded. Everybody that wants your harm, everybody that want to see you defeated, everybody want to see you lose, everybody want to see you down and out. The Most High said they going to be ashamed and confounded. They're going to be like, man, what the hell? They keep winning, they keep rising. It's the Lord's doing. It's marvelous in our eyes. And they're looking at the Hebrew Israelite right now. Oh, we going to keep them at the bottom of the total pole. Yahweh said they're going to be confounded. When he cracked the sky open and come and put this world back right side up, when he restored the kingdom back up to Israel, he said they're going to be confounded. But to bring it down to your personal level again, there's people that don't want to see you promoted. There's people that don't want to see you doing good. There's people that don't want to see you at the top when it relates to your purpose. There's people that don't want, they're going to be ashamed and they're going to be confounded. And this is how they're going to be ashamed and confounded, because when they see that you're at the top, they're going to be ashamed because they're going to have to come to you. That's shame. When you played, not only played, but prayed. You got some people out here praying for your downfall, right? You know you got people out here praying for your downfall. There's people praying for you never to get where you're trying to go. But the Most High said, but all they that were incensed against thee should be ashamed and confounded. They should be as nothing. They that strive with thee should perish. Okay? Now we know that it's speaking to the Edomites. We know that it's speaking to our enemies as it relates to this world. Right? But individually, this speaking to those who are striving against you. Eventually, they're going to perish. Now, the Most High may not, because they are brothers and sisters, we know. Now, we know the Most High may not take them out, but them perishing is seen in this aspect. You become so big that they perish from even being in your sight, perish from even being around you, perish from even being in your vicinity. All right? Right now, they come around. Right now, they act cool with you. Right now, they be your friend right now because you're low. You're low right now. But if you become big, guess what? They're going to perish out of your sight because you're not going to have enough time to even deal with them because you're too busy. Let's get to it. Let's get to this. Thou shalt seek them and shall not find them. Lord, have mercy. And them that continue with thee. Listen, I know what I'm talking about, because you find yourself sometimes say, hey, when the last time you heard of so-and-so? You should seek them and not find them. Huh? They that war against thee should be as nothing. And as a thing of naught, this Edomite system, this rulership, this wicked people, they coming to naught, man. They're not going to be able to keep us down. You hear me? Now, I know there's a lot in here. I'm just trying to get to where I want to get to. Okay? It says right here, verse 13, for I, Yahweh, thy Elohim, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. There again, he's telling you to fear not. Verse 14, and I may close after this. Pay attention to verse 14. Fear not, thou worm, Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, say Yahweh, thy Redeemer, because that's one of Israel. Fear not, thou worm. Have you ever felt like a worm? Huh? Matter of fact, do you feel like a worm? I know collectively as a group of people, as Hebrew Israelites, I know we feel like worms. Huh? Slavery, Jim Crow law, redlining, systemically how they, put racist injustice. Yeah, I know collectively, but let's bring this down to a personal level. Do you feel like a worm right now? There's a lot of people right now, they feel no better than a worm. You're down. You're dirty. How many people, I've been at this day for a long time, but how many people have ever said, with all that I'm going through, I wish I can just go hide? Oh my goodness. Huh? Talk to me, somebody. How many have said, with all that's going on, with all I have to deal with all the hellish situation I find myself in, I wish I could just go to an island, or I wish I could just go hide. Why? Because you feel like a worm. When a worm ready to get, what he do? He go underground and hide. How many of you feel like that? Another thing you notice about a worm is that a worm is used by others ultimately to die. Can I fix this thing? Huh? A worm have no protection. A worm can't protect itself against nothing. Do y'all hear me? A worm can't protect itself against nothing. And here it is, a worm is used by others ultimately to die. Now, let's make this thing personal. How many of you is killing yourself for the sake of others? Come on, man. You know she ain't your friend. But you killing yourself for her sake. Come on, man. You know he don't like you, man. You know he jealous of you. But you're killing yourself for him. Huh? You know they don't approve of your relationship, but how long y'all gonna try to prove? Just cut them off. Like a worm, you're killing yourself for the sake. Well, I don't understand that, prophet to the nation. How a worm is used by others ultimately to die. This is how they, watch this. This is how they use. The Edomites taught you to go dig up worms. Get a worm, then put it on a hook, then go out to the lake. Don't you know don't you know how people was catching fish without worms? But anyway, put a worm on a hook, go down to the river, throw your fishing rod, your line out, with the worm on the hook to catch a big fish. Oh my goodness. Can I say that again? A worm is used by others ultimately to die. So put the worm on the hook, go down to the lake, go down to the river, cast your line into the river, use that worm to catch a big fish. Think about that. How many people you know is using you as a worm to catch their big fish? Oh my goodness. Better yet, how many, unlike a worm, okay? So, because the Most High make you use us as a people synonymous to, unlike a worm, you could do something about it. But like a worm, you're being used by others so that they can catch their big fish. The Most High said, fear not, thy worm, Jacob, and you men in Israel. Watch this. Well, we heard you talk about worm. We heard you talk about, yeah, we are like worms. Yeah, this system, these Edomites, this world use us. We built this place up. It continue to use us. The first hire, the first fire, so on and so forth. You know how it go. Huh? Use your money. You know how it go. I don't got to go into details. You know what this world is doing. You know what this system is doing. So yes, we are like a worm. And then to make it on a personal level, you know what people are doing. You know they don't like you, but yet you're still killing yourself for the sake of them. So what should I do? Profit unto the nation? How do I come out of this worm situation? You said the title is From Worm to Warrior. How do I get that? I don't want to be the first W. I don't want to be no worm no more. I want to be a warrior. Well, thanks for asking. Verse 15. Verse 14, Yahweh says, you're a worm. But when Yahweh get his hands on you, you become verse 15. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff. The Most High said, look, by yourself alone, you are nothing but a worm. But when I get a hold of you, I make you a warrior. He said, I'm going to make you a sharp threshing instrument having teeth. That speaks to the ferociousness. That speaks to the supernatural power Yahweh will give you. And that's what I want to end with. Listen, you have to really get serious about Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, because he could take you from being a worm to a warrior. And a lot of you done lost your fight. A lot of you done lost your fight. You just lay over. All right? Huh? Y'all hear me? Listen, I don't want to hear this shit no more. It is what it is. That's somebody that lost his fight. I could do something about it. I may not physically, but I can go down on my knees. Stop accepting it is what it is. A lot of you done lost your bite. You just all bark. You a worm. I'm not going to be disrespectful, but here, it stops. Okay? Now listen to me. I know a lot of y'all not grown-ups. You can't talk like I can talk, all right? No. No. Some of you that's listening, yeah, but hey, you got to tell people. Listen, I did a message on this. Let's stop all of this play and all this fakeness. I know you don't fuck with me, and because you don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's listen, let's stop trying to build. Listen, I know where you stand. You know where I stand because of where you stand. If I keep trying When I know you don't like me, when I know you don't want to see me do good, if I keep trying, ultimately you're going to take me as a worm, put me on this hook. And don't you know that what gotta happen? What gotta happen before you get on the hook? It gotta stab you. You gonna stab me, put me on this hook in order to get a big fish. It stops here. I'm not a worm no more. I'm a warrior. And that's that warrior spirit in me. Listen, I know where you stand. And because you stand right there, it's where I'm staying. See, I don't get so caught up. And maybe I'll do the message later. I don't get so caught up with Edomites. Because a lot of y'all don't know where Edomites stand with y'all. That's why y'all get so caught up with them. I thought he would. Ain't none of them different to me. All right? I don't get caught up. I know who my enemies is. You hear me? And because I'm going to always keep a warrior spirit, and you need to keep a warrior spirit. But it's my brother. Hey, it don't matter who it is. I'm going to love you at a distance. I'm going to pray for you at a distance. But you're not going to keep worming me. Huh? You're not going to keep worming me. I'm not going to be a worm because worm is destroyed by everybody. What do little kids do when they see a worm? Stomp on it. How many times you going to let people keep stomping on you? Huh? I know a lot of people, hey, no. I'm not about to keep giving you my money for you to turn around and stomp on me. Not only no, but hell no. All right. To the next video, we say Shalom.